teenage girl is about to be unalived by her teenage friends. This is the tragic case of a teenager whose desperate attempt to be accepted led to one of the most heartbreaking and disturbing events in Canadian history. Her name's Reena, and Reena was 14 years old of South Asian origin. She lived in a quiet middle-class suburb in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, with her parents. And unlike many other families in the local South Asian community, Reena's parents, Manjit and Suman, were not practicing Sikhs. Instead, they were devout Jehovah's Witnesses. And if you know about Jehovah's Witness, you know they have very strict rules regarding lifestyle choices. Reena rebelled against her parents' strict rules, and about a year before she passed away, Reena had run away from her parents and had been placed in the care of a group home. Apparently, she had accused her dad of some kind of molestation. Anyways, she later dropped the charges and returned home. And according to friends, Reena was self-conscious about her weight and struggled with self-esteem. She desperately sought acceptance from her peers at school and in a group home where she lived for a while. In late 1997, she was accused by some teenagers of spreading rumors about another girl. This girl, let's call her Nicole. And allegedly, Reena had spread rumors that Nicole had fake boobs, she wore contact lenses, and had AIDS. Reena was also accused of trying to steal Nicole's boyfriend. On 14th November 1997, Reena was invited by part of a group of teens who often gathered on Friday nights to socialize and party on a bridge. The bridge is called the Craigflower Bridge. Now, personally, I don't have any facts to back this up, but I think she was set up by her friends. Otherwise, what's the reason behind using a bridge to socialize and party? Anyways, at the party, Nicole confronted Reena about the rumors, and then Reena allegedly called Nicole a which prompted Nicole to fight. And the fight broke out, and Nicole put out a burning cigarette on Reena's forehead. Reena was then swarmed by a group of 7 girls and 1 boy, and all of them were 16 years old or younger. And they repeatedly and kicked and at some point, Reena cried out, "I'm sorry," as she absorbed the blows and lay on the ground underneath the bridge. And after the attack, Reena staggered across the bridge towards home. However, she was attacked again by 2 of the original assailants. This girl, Kelly, and she was 15, and this guy, Warren, he was 16. And Reena was again, her head was smashed against a tree, and she was dragged unconscious into a body of water nearby and drowned. And Reena's parents reported her missing, but her half-naked body was not discovered until 8 days later, retrieved from the water by police divers. And the coroner's autopsy reported extensive damage to Reena's body and said Reena would most likely have still from her injuries if she hadn't been drowned. And eventually, on February 1998, 6 girls who took part in the initial attack on Reena were prosecuted in a youth court, and the 6 girls became famously known as the Shoreline 6, and they received sentences ranging from 60-day conditional sentences to 1 year in jail. Kelly and Warren, however, were charged separately with unaliving Reena, and despite their ages, they were tried in an adult court due to the extreme nature of the crime. And in June 1999, Warren was convicted by a judge of 2nd-degree unaliving and sentenced to life in prison. His appeal of conviction was, however, dismissed in 2001. A jury found Kelly guilty of 2nd-degree in 2000, but the conviction was overturned on technical legal grounds by the Supreme Court of Canada. And a second trial in 2004, at which Kelly insisted on her innocence and declared, "I am not a monster," resulted in a deadlocked jury and a mistrial. Kelly was convicted again by a jury at a 3rd trial in 2005, and that conviction was upheld on appeal to the Supreme Court, and Kelly received a life sentence. In prison, Warren took responsibility for his crime, and he met Reena's parents and apologized to them for his actions, and he explained that he had no particular motive at the time of the attack. And Warren and Reena's parents exchanged hugs. And after years of grief, Reena's parents, Manjit and Suman, chose to forgive many of the young teenagers at the time who unalived their daughter, saying forgiveness allowed them to let go of their anger. Suman said, and I quote, "I think the most important reason why we've forgiven Warren is so we can just put this whole matter aside and for our own healing and sense of wholeness." Good for him. And Warren's parole application was supported by Manjit and Suman, and in 2010 he was fully paroled and is now about 30 years old. This is an actual picture of him at the time. However, Kelly spent her early years in prison repeating her claims of innocence while also taking illegal drugs and breaking jail rules. And she eventually changed her name to Kerisim and gave birth to a child in 2016, conceived during a conjugal visit with her boyfriend, who also happened to be an ex-convict. And she was granted day parole in 2017. And by 2020, and then in her late 30s, Kelly had a second child with the same partner and received day parole as part of a program to reintegrate her into the community. And this is an actual picture of Kelly at the time. Manjit and Suman channeled their grief over Reena's murder into a public awareness campaign against bullying and teenage violence. And this is an actual picture of Manjit and Suman. And Reena's story was even turned into books and documentaries and movies. And there's this mini-series about the incident called Under the Bridge. And in 2009, Manjit and Suman were honored with British Columbia's Anthony J. Holmes Award of Distinction for their contribution to crime prevention and community safety. Unfortunately, Suman passed away on June 16, 2018, aged 58, following a choking accident while eating at a Victoria cafe. Very sad. Follow me as I unveil more story and hit that notification bell. Stay blessed.